Can you hear me okay? Brilliant. Thank you all for coming along to the 10 a.m. session on new venues. My name is Lyndsey Taylor. I'm a venue finder. I was asked back to come from last year, so obviously went okay last year, which is great. Thank you for attending the first session as well. Appreciate everyone's got very busy days. These are 30-minute quick sessions, so I go through quite quickly. I do encourage people to take pictures as well, so please do take pictures of the slides because there are a lot. There's a lot of information and you can't remember everything, so I do welcome that, and then you can take that back to your offices or whatever. As you can see, my contact details are on here anyway, so feel free to reach out to me. Hi guys. Just walk past while I'm in the middle of a session, that's great. Thanks very much. Yeah, no, don't worry, that's fine. Okay, maybe we need to get some like VIP ropes here. I shall carry on. Maybe I should just stand on the stage. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted a bit more informal, but there we go. So let's start again. I'm Lyndsey Taylor, venue finder, Park Lane Events. My details are on here. Please feel free to take snapshots. I do go by quite quickly, and you're all here to hear about new venues, and this is UK and internationally. If you're in the wrong session, do feel free to leave now, because Kelly, who's actually a client of mine, who I booked for, is on the other stage talking about event psychology, which I'm gutted I'm missing. But there we go. So we are here to hear about how to keep up to date with the latest hotel and venue openings. Can you see that okay over there, by the way? What's being refurbished, and that's such a huge part of what's going on at the moment as well. So it's not just the new venues. We don't realise a lot of the time that there's a lot of things going on with other venues, and how to keep the little black book up to date, and then stemming on to a bit of team building at the end as well. So going straight into it, I do want to say thank you to ASM Global, who is the sponsors of this show, and we have the AV by Lighthouse Events. We've got a lovely young man over here who's helping. Hi. So if you've got any AV questions, go and speak to him for any of your events. And ASM Global have got their exhibition stand over here in the corner, and they've got a bigger one on the floor. So one of the things that ASM Global do, their hospitality sort of reputation management company, and the biggest thing that they've got going on at the moment is the Olympia massive refurbishment that's going on there, redevelopment, 1.3 billion at Kensington. Most people know about Olympia, but not necessarily that it's having this massive redevelopment. So as you can see, 2 hotels, theatre, 20 restaurants there. It's a good location, it's good access there. They've also got a couple of other things that are opening throughout the UK as well. So as I said, they're the sponsor, so just wanted to give them a bit of a shout out there. So I've just listed a selection of some of the things that IHG hotels are doing. They're obviously doing a lot more, but for those that are booking internationally, this is where you just might want to take a quick snapshot here, and then Hyatt are always opening up new venues or refurbishing as well. So here are 11 of theirs that are opening just next year. I'll just give you a second to take those pictures, including London Olympia. So going back to the Olympia, it's going to be a Hyatt that's one of the hotels there. So then moving on, this is just a very quick snapshot of a few properties, as you can see, kind of thrown onto the slide there, because there's a lot of movement at the moment of venues being sold, venues being refurbished. So the Bowtree, for example, in London, only opened a year ago. It cost them 375 million to open that hotel, and it's for sale for 275 million. So a bit of a sign of things that are going on at the moment as well. There's a couple of other things. Voco are taking on the Marylebone Hotel, the Vineyard. They've got a stand here. Well, so the Vineyard was sold to Apex, and that was announced in the press only last week. Vineyard is in Newbury. It has its own vineyard, hence the name of the hotel as well. It's actually part of a group. So the rest of the group is now going to be known as Donington Valley Group, because they've got the Donington Valley Hotel, they've got the Kingfisher Hotel. They have a stand here as well. So I've tried to pick some where you can go and speak to people afterwards as well. And then going over to New York, you've got the Surrey Hotel, which is a part of the Corinthia brand, and that's opening, it's opened actually. And then again, another quick snapshot, again, a couple of Hyatts there. You've got the one, Park Hyatt London River Thames. I'm going to see that next week actually. You've got the new hotel in Leeds coming up. There's a lot going on in Leeds actually. So I've actually got a little note here, bear with. Leeds seems to be going through a massive refurbishment at the moment. So you've got the new Hyatt opening up. You've got the Doubletree Leeds that's just gone through a massive refurbishment, complete all the conference rooms, bedrooms there. The Marriott Leeds, they've had their refurb completed. The Hilton have had theirs done, different to the Doubletree. You've got an Inside by Melia actually opening up there as well. The Crown Plaza has had a soft refurb, and they've got a new terrace area as well. And the Park Plaza in Leeds is finally going to get their well overdue refurbishment, and that'll be next year. So if Leeds is an area that you're booking, do a bit of more research now, rather than a lot of us do tend to go, oh, that's old, I'm not going to put an inquiry through there. So there's quite a lot happening there. Then over to Liverpool, one of the Ivy restaurants are opening, 19th of November. And then Downhall Hotel is often doing things in Hertfordshire there. They're actually extremely sustainable property. They've refurbished all their function rooms over the last few years, some of their bedrooms as well, and they've got some more bedrooms that they're doing. But actually working outside with all their grounds that they've got, they're going to be doing like an outside kitchen, where you can then have the chef literally outside cooking within their allotment sort of area. So you can pick your veg, that's the veg that the chefs are going to be using, and then having it interactive so that you can be doing that as well. And that kind of stems over to the team building and doing things a bit more interactive, where there's already things in place. It's the off-the-shelf kind of product at a hotel where you can go, great, I've got my conference room, I've got my bedrooms, I've got nice food, I've got the sustainability, I've got things outside, I've got things inside, because they're actually going to have a TP as well, so that then you can be covered. So it crosses all the all-weather disruptions that you might have. So big fans of Downhall. They're always very, they really want to talk to you about what you want to do with your booking as well. So that's nice when you get that interaction each way. So just mentioning Jo Beam. So Jo has her own consultancy firm. This is one of the hotels that's opening December this year. And for Mice Business from April, that's when they're taking their bookings from next year. So if you fancy something in Tenerife, do take a snapshot of that, because there's a lot more on there that I could talk about, but I've just briefly listed it there. So up to Edinburgh. Apologies for the pictures. These are my pictures that I took last week while I was up in Edinburgh. It's a brand new hotel. It's a Red Carnation hotel. So you've got that 5-star standard. It really is a premium product. And they're still kind of finding their feet of what business do they attract, because they only have 30 bedrooms right in the city centre. And what you can do is hire the whole hotel, so that then you've got all of that exclusive use for your groups. The meeting space or function space is fairly small, so you could have a private dinner for about 12 people in this room here. And here you've got whiskies all the way around the room, and that was the owner's whiskies. Unfortunately, he passed away last year, and so to sort of nod to him, they've got his personal collection of whiskies all around, showing in that room there. So lots of personal touches there. Just a bit of a snapshot, if you're going to Rome at all, you've got the new Art Hotel opening springtime next year. Art Hotel are becoming quite a really popular brand, actually, because of their lifestyle products. And then you've got ones which kind of don't really fit into the refurbished or new, but they've changed the name. So the Principal York, which a lot of people will know, of course, that's now becoming the Milner York, and it's all about a gentleman called William Milner, who used to work there. Unfortunately, he was killed during the war. Apparently, the story goes that he was going in and out of the hotel saving people because it had got bombed, and they found him clutching, dead with a first aid box. So that's the nod to him, and there's a lot of history there that they want to bring. There to make it a bit more personal property. So I love that. So I thought I would just mention that one as well. Then carrying on with refurbishments, the Francis Hotel in Bath, so lovely boutique property, £13 million refurbishment. Now they sent me obviously a lot more slides than this, and they have completely gutted the property. So all the bedrooms, literally blank canvas. I've seen the pictures of what they're going to be like, very luxurious. They have small private dining spaces and small conference spaces there, so it's very boutique property again. And then you've got the Met Hotel in Leeds. They are just about to have a £17 million refurb. And that's why I wanted to mention some of these refurbs, because these are massive refurbs. Some of them are quite well overdue, but it's nice to see that the money is going into these properties. Then going on to a bit more local now, Edgbaston Stadium, it's going to have the Radisson that's coming on board. So a few of you want to take a picture there, and you can see there the proposed sizes and capacities. That's why I'm not going through every single capacity as well, so that you can take a quick read and take a picture if you need to. There's one more person taking a picture, right? And then this, it's not a purple block. This now is on about the, I'm going on about now, the Belfry Hotel in Birmingham. They have got a stand here as well. One of the biggest refurbishments, if you like, but it's actually their new development, £80 million investment. I am just going to go through this one a bit more, one because it's a bit more closer to home, and because it's so vast, and again, one that a lot of people are looking forward to, I think, this one. So additional 148 bedrooms, 80 additional electric chargers. So this is obviously what we're seeing more in hotels now as well. I don't know how important that is with when you're booking events, the sustainability aspect and having the chargers. I've got a client, for example, all their company cars are electric, so they have to book a property that has got electric chargers, and that's now part of the decision-making process. So I thought I would pop that in. And as you can see, it mentions there BREEAM, and that actually is a sustainability platform, and they are people that will come in and give you that award, and it's one of the sort of top awards you could get, if you like. So the Master Suite, which is their biggest function room, this is what they are going to be adding on. So it's an additional function space, and that will be opening next year. They're taking bookings for September next year. So this time next year, it will be open and hopefully have events in as we speak. They are doing hard hat tours now, and they will be doing their launch events in the new year. So again, they have got a stand here, so do feel free to go and find them and say Lyndsey was warbling on about something going on at the Belfry. Now this is a little 40-second video, which I have put on just because it kind of says what I've just said, and is a bit more visual there. This is on their website, but you do have to really find it after a few pages, but it gives a really good idea of what their space is going to look like. Obviously being a central location as well, and with all those car parking facilities, I think it's going to prove extremely popular. There we go, said it was nice and short and snappy. And then just from a bird's eye view, so this is the whole new area that they're doing there. So that is that master suite and the bedrooms there. So, how are we doing for time? Oh, fantastic. Keeping your black book up to date. So how do you keep all your contacts up to date when so much is going on at the same time? So many people are moving, the sales managers are moving all the time. You think you've got a contact at one place, they move it somewhere else, and then it's just quite time consuming, obviously, to do all of that. So I just thought I would put a little snapshot in here. So obviously when you're going to networking events, see if you can get a list of the attendees that are going to be there, going to exhibitions like you're at obviously today, and which are taking place most months. So I actually have on my social media what exhibitions are coming up in the next 3 months as well, so that keeps people up to date. And actually taking people's business cards when you're going around here as well. Join public groups. So for example, the Delegate Wranglers are here today. Does anybody know of the Delegate Wranglers? Yeah, a couple of nods. So they're a great networking source. They do a Facebook page, and you can basically ask anyone, do you know a florist in Birmingham? Do you know a photographer in Edinburgh? Or I'm looking for a venue for X amount. So it's a very open forum. You have lots of suppliers on there as well, so you could actually be speaking to somebody at a venue that can reply straight away to you. So as I said, they've got a stand here. Or yeah, make your own group, because a lot of you are in different groups already, of course, and there's nothing stopping anybody making your own. Even if it's just a WhatsApp group of 4 people, it's then that support network of your own. Then of course, industry news. I just thought I'd add this on. So I do sign up to M&IT, MIA, all the acronyms, CNIT, C-Vent, and Boutique Hotelier. So these ones I get a lot. There are others as well that I get information from. These are probably the ones that I get the most information because they're snapshots, what hotels are opening and what's going on in the industry. Wellness, it covers a whole range of things here. So as I mentioned, business cards, when you're going around the exhibition and you're seeing all these people and they'll all scan you and they'll all follow up at some point. You'll then get overloaded with loads of follow-up emails. But any that you particularly want to, ask for their business card if you obviously don't already. A lot of people don't have business cards so much anymore as well. So back to old school, pen and paper, write it down, because the amount, unfortunately, of people that don't follow up, or you get back to the office and you're like, on Friday, you think, right, end of the week, I'm going to contact that person. Oh, they haven't done their follow-up yet. And I can't remember which person it was because I spoke to so many people that day. So one thing I found really helpful, get that business card. If they do follow up in the meantime, that's great. But at least then you've been proactive and it's you that's saving yourself time in the end. So yeah, Excel spreadsheet sounds really obvious, but putting those business cards into that Excel spreadsheet, or I use HubSpot, which is a CRM system, and it's free. So any one of you could have HubSpot and use it just for that data management. So again, you can do all sorts of searches and things in that, but just for that basic requirements, that's a recommendation there. So just glossing into team building activities. So with a lot of these hotels, if they've got grounds, that's great. They've got those team building activities either on site already, or they've got the suppliers that they can recommend, or you might have your own supplier, obviously, as well. But I think when you're starting out of trying to get all that information, yes, ask the hotel that you're booking at, or yes, use your own supplier. But it is these, and I know they sound quite obvious questions, but it's having all of these things ready to begin with. What are you trying to achieve? Is it an hour? Is it going to be 3 hours? Is it just going to be inside for 1 hour, just doing a bit of collaboration? What is the budget for that? Because obviously then that will dictate how much you can spend on any of those things. Yeah, as I just mentioned, different size groups, and that goes down to what are you trying to achieve, and are you going to use their in-house, or what in-house people have they got already, as well as the supply. So what can they do in-house already? Like for example with Downhall, they can do a lot of stuff at their fingertips already, but they also have hotels, they also have team building suppliers, so they can recommend that to you for especially the bigger outdoor things that you want to do, and the motorized things like that. And obviously if you do have a venue finder, what do they recommend? So I recommend certain people, and then you've got the hotel that might recommend certain people, and then you've got certain people. So then you've got some really good trusted sources there as well. And obviously use your network, so where you've then part of those, like the delegate wranglers or your own WhatsApp group or whatever, what's everybody else using. But I think with PAs and EAs, you are fabulous at asking each other and recommending your own personal suggestions to each other anyway. So any questions? What time is it? Oh, I've done really well. I've zoomed through that. Any questions before I go on to where to find some more information? Anybody got any questions about any of the openings or any of the slides or any destinations? Oh, yes. Sorry, let me come over and then I'll repeat your question. Is that via LinkedIn? Right, so Penny asked, thank you for that question, Penny. Boutique Hotelier, she said, is that through LinkedIn? Or no, that's just, you can Google Boutique Hotelier, and then that will come up with their magazine. So it's an online magazine, and then you just sign up for their newsletter, and then you can get a lot of that information there. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Yeah, I'll come over to you. Yeah.
It was just to ask how you kind of keep up to date with all of the new openings. So obviously you've got kind of like insight to leads. How do you kind of find firsthand?
Yes, yeah. So the questions, how do I find out firsthand all of that information and the new openings and the new venues? Some of that information. I do spend a lot of time talking to the hotels about, and obviously because I'm a venue finder, I'm doing that's my job. I'm doing it all the time, day in, day out. So I do get by going around the exhibitions, getting those business cards, when they're talking about new openings, so what we now, 2024, say they're like, oh, we're going to open something in a year or 2 years or 3 years, then I will make a note, because like some of those were 2027. It's like, how are you going to remember all of that? So it is using things like even like Motion, like management, like Monday.com and things like that, or my CRM system, so that then I'll put a task in there, quick, 2027, so-and-so's opening, so that then that's just appearing every now and again, and that's just reminding me, and then I'll see them at an exhibition, and then I'll go, oh, you're opening something, I can't remember what it is, in 2027, and that way I'll make sure that I'm on their database, but then that does mean I get a lot of newsletters, and that's the kind of thing where you're trying to be efficient of not getting too much for sustainability as well. I don't want that wasted energy, obviously all our time as well. So it is filtering a lot of that out as well. So then I will have a filter that is like a category on your Outlook called new venues. So something quickly comes in, new venues, new venues. Then every now and again, I'll scan through those. Oh, that's next month, that's next year. Oh, that can wait. And then if they're doing the opening, the launches, I get invited to those then, because then I'm already on their database, and then you can choose which ones you go to. And sometimes I don't want to go to those because that's in an evening. I've got a family. I don't want to be spending an hour with lots of other people just trying to see through the woods, through the trees kind of thing. So I'll organise a site visit that way. So if it's for a client as well, if I'm like, oh my word, that's right up my client's street, I'll go there. You get invited obviously for lunch or show rounds and coffee, whatever. So then I'll have that personal relationship with that venue. And then of course they're telling me about all the other things, especially if it's like a Hyatt, and they go, oh, by the way, we're doing this and we're doing that as well. So it's a constant flow of information, so it's just learning the art as well to filter some of that out. The CRM system obviously helps there as well. Does that help? Yeah. Any other questions at all? No? All good? Right, so where to find more free information? Because we aren't free information, don't we, really? So I do webinars I do them 3 times a year. January, which is the start of the year ahead. I always have, in fact, it's got the topics there. I am going to read this. Update on the latest venue availability trends and planning for this time of the year. So this was for September. So January will be like planning ahead for 2025. Update, there's always the update on the next quarter, and like that's into 2025. So that will be for the next few months for next year. Industry exhibitions update. So again, finding that information. These are the next exhibitions that are coming up, and I actually do for the whole year. So there's a whole year program of exhibitions. It's one slide, again, people just take a snapshot of that. Hotels and venues visited, plus new openings. So that's when I'll talk about any that I have gone to firsthand and give that personal experience. And I talk into a bit more depth. So I have a lot less venues that I would talk about. This has obviously been quite a fast run through of a variety of different hotels opening. That's also only 30 minutes. And so as you can see, it's probably about 10 minutes on each section that way. So there's webinars. So they're the dates for the next ones, actually. You can actually sign up for the January one already just by going on the website. So that's there. And then I do lots of blogs. So I did 4 blogs in October, for example. There was a Christmas party guide. So again, that kind of, know your budget, what venues are offering some good Christmas party deals. So sometimes I will give live examples. Oh, and why you should go to CHS show. So yes, if I am going to one and I can give a personal experience of it, then I'll say this is why. And that was me last year speaking like this. So then with venue finding, I just put this on. Some people work with venue finders already. Some people ask me, how does a venue finder work? So there's such a range of why people come to me for information as well. This is on my website. Do most of you use venue finders already? Do you want to pop your hand if you use a venue finder already? Couple, so yeah, about a quarter of you that's willing to put your hand up. So you know the process and how it all works, but otherwise that's the start. There's actually, that goes a lot further down on the website, but it's just a snapshot. And again, this is where people like to take this picture, because whether you're doing it direct using a venue finder, it's that initial piece of information that people want, that hotels need to know. Budget particularly. So if nothing else, know what the budget is and try and communicate that with the hotel so they can try and match that as best as they can. Saves all the backwards and forwards. So that's the end of the session. I hope that was in a lot of information for you. I know it's quite a speed going through it all. And do feedback to me afterwards if you feel it's too fast, or should there have been more information or different information, because in case they ask me back again next year, then I want to make it even better for next year. So thank you so much all for coming. I really appreciate it. I will be here. I do London venues at 11, back to basics at 12, so I will be here if anyone wants to chat to me in between those time. All right, thank you for your time. And I've given you the gift of 5 extra minutes. There we go. Thank you.